Hi, I am the independent observer for this negotiation. At the end, I'll be giving feedback on how each party went.
I'll be playing the role of QMC, Quick Cheap Manufacturing Corporation. We seek raw materials from another company, and we're just going to argue, or rather negotiate the terms of our contract.
Hi, I'm representing MMC, who is a supplier for raw materials. They supply material to different companies, and I'll be negotiating a contract with QMC.
Okay, so we're here today just to sort out our contracts, basically, and figure out, what we want. I want you to supply me with a certain amount of raw materials. Okay, I basically have, we're currently building a new processing plant, that'll be complete December 2013, so at the end of this year. 2014, we'd like to start, deliveries of the raw materials. We prefer to have them, on a monthly basis for the period of 12 months with a 5% variation rate. Are you happy with that?
We've been in market for a long time, and we also supply other companies around your area. So we just want to offer a contract for two years instead of 1 year time. And just to let you know that because of the fact that we've been in market for such a long time, we are not a risky business. You can fully rely on us for the supplies to be delivered on the same time, same date, or whenever you require them. So, but there is a bit of problem with a 12-month contract to do it on a monthly basis. We actually do it every quarterly, and we want a contract for 2 years instead of a year. And I believe that it would provide satisfaction and also a commitment to enter in a contract where you and I, both of us will have a contract to follow on a 2 years basis, and you'll be getting your deliveries every 3 months. I was just wondering, what would you think about that instead of 12 months?
Personally, my company doesn't really locked in for 2 years. We're trying out a new company, new contract. We don't want to have to be, stuck for 2 years with the one company, especially if we're not going to be happy with them and their services. We understand that you're very reliable, but we would prefer to just have the year. We want it on a monthly basis just so we can get our, process everything quicker and get our products done and completed. So 2 years would be quite difficult. I'm happy to, maybe we can make options, but most likely not 2 years.
Just to let you know that we already have a lot of stock sitting in our warehouses, which is ready to be delivered to the companies close to you. When would you want your first delivery?
Well, our processing plant is being built, currently, and it will be completed by December. So that's why we wanted January 2014 to start our first month delivery.
Okay. As I just mentioned, that we have ready stock to be delivered, which we'll be doing sometime in June. So there is no way that, I understand the plant is not ready yet. You are not in a position to accept deliveries, considering the fact it's raw material. Yeah. So maybe we can come up with a sort of mutual agreement where we can start working on this contract, which should really be done, say, in 3 or 4 months from now. And then, if you're happy, we can consider doing an agreement for 15 or 18 months instead of 12 months, because that's not really a feasible option for our company. If we do it on 18 months, if we do it for 18 months and we deliver products, say, every 2 months instead of every month, that would be really feasible for us. What do you think about that?
I would have to speak to the other board members as well. They're very strict on the time frame they want. We will consider, meeting halfway, I guess, the 18 months and 2 monthly deliveries. But I recommend that we should keep at 5%, and or we want it at 5%, you want it at 10%, which is kind of difficult. We understand there's competition, around. We do have another 2 potential suppliers. So if we don't see that your company can provide us with the proper, delivery or, suited to what we want, we will definitely go to other suppliers. Yeah. So
it's just that it would be unstable due to the unstable international prices. It could be a disadvantage to our company. So we cannot really do it lower than 10% for over the next year time. You mentioned you have potential suppliers. It really depends where they are supplying you deliveries from, if they are overseas or within the same origin. But I would really consider looking at the risk of getting raw material delivered from someone who could be providing you not a quality product, and we can guarantee you that we would be providing you a quality product, and you would not be facing any disadvantage or any kind of risk. So it's entirely up to you, obviously, to make decision about that. But we are happy to enter into a contract for 18 months and to provide deliveries every 2 months, but it has to be on the 10%.
Well, my company is not going to accept the 10%. That's just too high for our company. The maximum we'll go is 7.5. I appreciate you met us halfway on the 1 month and 3 month, giving us 2 months, and 12 months to 24 months, giving us 18 months. So if your company is happy to do 7.5, then I think we can organise a contract to be made. But other than that, nothing's going to work out.
All right, so you're saying that if we can provide you 7.10%, you'll be happy to enter into a contract for 18 months on the basis of delivery being done every 2 months?
Yes, but I recommend that every 6 months we have a review of our contract, and we just see how effective it is and if we're both benefiting. Because if we're not both benefiting, then obviously the contract's not working out.
Yeah, I do understand we are quite new to each other. We still have to understand each other's business and needs of the business.
Precaution.
Yeah, so I'm happy to review this contract, say 6 months once we start doing business between us. If we're both happy, we're both not disadvantaged by the products or by the outcome of the business between us, then from that point on we can do it for another year or 18 months.
Yeah, we'll see how we're going.
Yes, yeah.
And how fast. Okay, so we're agreed every 2 months, starting from January 2014 though, because that's when our plan will be ready for operation. We can't have any raw material just sitting around for months until our plan's ready.
Yes, that's quite understandable, and I will be speaking to my managers about that, and hopefully we can come up with a contract which is beneficial for both of us.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Good doing business.
So I'm the independent observer, and I'm going to be giving some feedback to both the parties. I'll start with Sam. Sam, you were very stubborn, as the facts asked you to be. You used active listening skills very well. I noticed you were making notes and able to straight away pinpoint the main objectives of what you were wishing to talk about and discuss. You're also good at listening to what Uzma has to say and then being able to still talk about it in a way that didn't come across as too unreasonable, but you backed everything up with, I still have to confirm with this, but, I'm willing to negotiate on this point. As for you, Uzma, you came across, spoke very clearly, and you were quite concise on a lot of things. The manner you spoke was very polite, but still explains where you're coming from without being too much of a pushover, which was really good. I also noticed you took notes and was checking off the different things that you knew that your company needed to cover. Negatives wise, at the start I felt you it was good that you pinpoint things really quickly and gave a bit of an overview, but at the same time I felt there was a bit of cliffhanger a little bit, that you could have gone a bit further to say and expanded later on why, but kind of said, well, I want this 10%. But
Give
just
more
so,
reasoning.
because when I was watching
Okay.
Usma's expression, she's like 10%, this much, this much, this much, and you weren't justifying it kind of to make her feel a bit more comfortable. Usma, I felt at some points you were circling around a little bit. I noticed that you said the same thing again, and you didn't always respond to the same point that Sam had just spoken. But most of the time you're on point.
Role play, in terms of negotiation, what did you think? What does your learning and your feelings towards your skills, have they improved, or how do you feel about it?
It certainly gave me an idea of what active listening is, to hear what both sides were and be able to actively react in a manner that was still on point.
Yeah, I think it's a good experience because you don't get to do this quite often, and being put in that situation, like no matter how much you prepare, you always have to like think on the spot, and you know, it just gives you that sense of, oh my god, it's very intense. It's not that easy, but it's also fun. It's a great learning experience.
Can you see some sort of applications in real life now that you can sort of take away from what you've done here today?
Definitely.
How do you feel about the skills and the role play?
It's just that I've learned how to negotiate on my own terms, still being not very disadvantageous to the another party. So when I was discussing it with Sam, I knew that I had to be firm to enter into a contract on my terms, but still I had to understand what she needs and what the need of their business is. So I learned good negotiation skills today.
And would you all agree that role plays are an integral and important part of your learning the theory,
Yes,
making the practical side come to life?
it gives us more better than the teaching.
Yeah, it gives you the ability to implement theory in action, because quite often what we learn, we don't really practice out in the real world.
Indeed, indeed. Well, thank you very much for participating in that. It's most appreciated.
Thank you.
Thanks.